common beginner mistake is illegible animation. We try to think of a story and animate it, but when we show it to someone, they do not understand what is going on, or only get it after a few viewings. In this tutorial, I will introduce you to the rules that make your animation legible and easy to follow. Just like a sentence is split into words, animation is split into movements. In text, the words are segregated using spaces or pauses. Without these pauses, we would have a hard time reading. We have taken the effort to recognize and split words from one another. This is the point of a pause, to give the brain some time to digest the information it receives. Fast reading often has the consequence of missing some importance of the text. Same goes for animation. Here's an example. This animation has no pauses. Here it looks like all of the movements have been fused into one. Maybe we could understand what is going on here, but only after a few viewings. Aside from being illegible, the speed with which the movements follow one another are unnatural. Let's observe all of the movements as if they were words in one sentence, and add pauses between each. These are pauses of 3 to 10 frames in length. Now take a look at how much more natural and how much easier it is to follow. Here's how our eyes move when watching an animation with no pauses. How fast it has to move and how much information we miss. And with pauses, our eyes naturally wander the frame. You should always leave 3 frames of pause at the start and end of the animation. At the start, the viewer will need time to take in the space of the story, and the pause at the end is needed so the brain has enough time to process everything it saw. When you have text in your animation, leave enough time for the viewer to read it, using slower movement. Just like how a person can't concentrate and follow 2 conversations at once, so they struggle to follow 2 movements at the same time. Here's an example. Both the eye and the spider move at the same time, which is why we struggle to follow and understand everything on the first viewing. When these 2 movements are apart, we always know where to look, because the animation successfully guides our eye. Also, by adding pauses, we have time to take a better look at the characters and the background. Here's an example of proper eye guidance. In every moment, only one character and movement is dominant on the scene, and we point our attention to them. This is an interesting animation, but has poor legibility. The main reason for this is that there are a lot of spaces where the actions overlap. At the start, we have a combined movement of a horse, pig, and these 2 characters. One character kills the pig, but before the action is over, the other one starts shooting at the horse and picking the apple. Here, characters and the zombies from the other end of the frame move at the same time. Here's how I would animate this. The horse enters first, followed by the pig. Then these 2 characters appear. We cannot split these 2 apart because they have the same movement and practically move as one person. The blue one kills the pig and eats it, and only once he's done, the yellow character shoots the horse and picks the apple. First, the characters enter the cave, and only then the zombie comes in. Let's add a moment of pause between all these movements. Another great way to improve the legibility of the animation is adding sound effects. Look at how much easier the scene is to understand when everything has a sound effect. Our own animations are clear to us even when they're illegible. We know the story and what is happening in the video. However, we need to make sure that our animation is clear to everyone. So, whenever you complete a project, put it up for a legibility test. Show it to someone who hasn't seen it and who doesn't know what is going on. Show them the animation only once and ask them to describe what he saw. If they manage to follow everything, you've passed the test. If they miss some important information, play the video again. If they don't understand even on the second viewing, then you should definitely work on your animation's legibility. You should do the following. Ask the viewer if the animation is too fast, and if it is, then add pauses. Ask them if they've noticed something that they did not mention. And feel free to ask them if they have an idea how to make the animation clearer. Do not think that someone who doesn't know a lot about animation can't give good advice or critique. Bear in mind that your work will be seen by many who do not know too much about animating, and they will probably find things that bothered your first viewer bothersome as well. When you fix your animation, do the legibility test again. The animation is done only when everyone you've shown it to understands everything from the get-go.